Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and the 5-year anniversary countdown check-in event has launched, has been announced, and a lot of people are talking about the big surprise, the big new item ticket in the 5-year anniversary. The very last, the final reward is a tier 3 ticket. That's right, you heard right, a tier 3, not a tier 2 ticket. So this is without a doubt the most generous anniversary event they've had to date, but there's a bit more involved in it. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about it, and we'll get through everything together. So yeah, I finally have some more things to talk about in Marvel Future Fight, for better and for worse. So 5-year anniversary, the update, for those of you that are wondering, is apparently scheduled for the middle of April. I think it's the 22nd. So we are just under 3 weeks out from the next update. We're about 19 days away from that, due to the Star Agent posting and the sort of timeline on that. So this will run through the next update, and we'll talk about how the tier 3 ticket can impact that. So the rewards that you get for logging in every day, again, you don't have to do anything. This is the classic Netmarble Marvel Future Fight approach. We don't want you to actually play our game. We just want you to log in and log back out. And I'm not really complaining about free things, but again, I am pushing forward the idea that a lot of these rewards should be tied to in-game milestones for actually playing the game, because right now the game is basically a collection simulator and a check-in simulator for a lot of players if they're non-competitive. And for the competitive players, they just constantly get the shaft with bad rewards or no rewards. So as you know, competitive players seeing better rewards by logging in really takes the wind out of your sails, right? Okay, so anywho, you get gold, or you get not gold, you get black antimatter crystals, boost points, you get a 6-star selector, cool, you get a 6-star ISO random, you get more crystals, you get some gold, you get more 6-star selectors. This is great. You know who this is great for? New players. This is amazing for new players. Marvel new player fight. This is great for new players, amazing for new players. In total, you get, I believe, 500 crystals. That's cool. That's almost half of a uniform. Nice. Almost half of one uniform. How generous, when we know this update is going to have 3 uniforms minimum. So 1/6 of the next update's uniform requirements are given as login rewards. Okay. And then we have the tier 3 character selector. It's a tier 3, well, it's not quite a tier 3 ticket. I said it was a tier 3 ticket, but it's a tier 3 character selector. So now basically the rest of this video is reacting to and discussing the implications of the fine print. How sad is it that Marvel Future okay, you know what I mean? Okay, let's just get into it. So let's take a look here. Characters obtainable by using the tier 3 character selector. So you cannot tier 3 any character with the tier 3 selector. You can only tier 3 8 different characters, I believe, 8 or 10 different characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 available characters out of the 24 tier 3s that we have. So less than half of the tier 3s in the game are choosable. So we've got Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Sharon Rogers, and Cyclops. So basically all of the free-to-play 800 CCF characters. So although they are 800 CCF, characters like Namor, characters like Luna Snow, characters like Professor X and Crescent are not part of this selector. And if nothing else, you should be a bit surprised that in 2 years, they've managed to, keep in mind, the first 6 tier 3s that they introduced were all free to play. Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Black Panther, Thor. I believe Deadpool came in between those, one of those, but anyways, of their first 8 tier 3s, 7 of them were free to play. And later that year, we got Sharon Rogers, which means 8. Almost all of those characters are here. So that means in the last year, Marvel Future Fight has been very busy giving us tier 3s that we, A, cannot use in the selector, and B, cost way more than 800 CCF. And my guess is there's a lot more coming on the way. So more than half of all the tier 3s in the game cost 1200 or 1600 CCF, and they are not usable with the tier 3 selector. So just let that information sink in. Now, let me get out of the way that a tier 3 selector is very generous. This is extremely great. This is an awesome reward for new and intermediate players. You've heard me say this before a lot. It's not a meme. It's a serious thing. You get a brand new character tier 3. Imagine you're starting your account and you automatically have a tier 3 Captain America, or you automatically have a tier 3 Captain Marvel to go along with your tier 2 Sharon Rogers from the Shield Academy. It's going to catapult you, and it's especially good for PvP. So this is really, really good. And, you know, if they are going to rework PvP, I think this is a really good way to sort of primer and sort of set the foundation for players, saying, here you go, here's a tier 3. You'll need this in the new PvP zone that we have set up, because, you know, the rewards are going to be great, so you're going to want the tier 3 characters because you're going to want to push into PvP. So yeah, that's great. Again, part of that assumption relies on the fact that they're going to rework PvP, but even if they don't rework PvP, which they probably won't, they're lazy as hell, Captain Marvel tier 3 or some of these other tier 3s, maybe Captain America even, will serve you well in timeline to get some extra crystals, yada, yada, yada. So it's actually good. And again, it's amazing. This is an amazing reward for new and intermediate players. Do you see where I'm going with this? What do you get? Again, complaining about free rewards is kind of awkward. It's not really in style right now. But what do you get as a veteran if you have all these characters tier 3? If you select a hero who you already own at tier 3, you will receive biometrics, or in the case of Cyclops, X genes. Okay, so bit awkward. Okay, everything else I'm going to complain about for the rest of the video is not true if the number of biometrics that they give us is like 2,000 or like 3,000. Because that would be commensurate to give us basically the amount of random bios that we need, a big chunk of bios to get other characters to level 70. That would be an appropriate reward. Now let me remind you, if you already have a character at tier 2 and you use a tier 2 selector on that character, which is what most veterans do who have every character tier 2, like me and like lots of players who have been playing for 4 or 5 years, it's not really that hard or that expensive to get every character tier 2, especially since tier 2 selectors don't apply to paywall characters. So actually you could be free to play, playing for 5 years, and this could happen to you. If you use the tier 2 selector on a character that you've already tier 2'd, like let's say Scourge, you get 256 bios. My guess is that they're going to be the generous overlords that they are, and they're going to double that to 512 biometrics. So Again, everything else I'm going to complain about is wrong if the amount of bios you receive is quadruple what I'm guessing it's going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be 512 because they're greedy and stupid. But if it's 2,000, 3,000, then I'm wrong, and you can reference this video for the rest of time. Now, if I'm not wrong, which I'm probably not, imagine, hey man, you've been working at you've been volunteering at this company for 5 years. Thank you so much. Here's $5. Hey, new guy. Hey man, listen, because of the currency conversion, this $5 is worth $500 to you. Here's $500, bro. The amount of value that a tier 3 selector represents for a new or intermediate player is insane. It's almost incalculable. It's worth thousands of crystals, because it's not just the resources. It's the time that it takes to farm the books, to farm the Titan component packs and the CCF. It's the Conqueror level. There's so much. There's all the gold involved. Like, it's crazy. Plus, you're saving the bios. So think about that. You're not just, like, let's say you already have Iron Man tier 2. You're saving the 2,000 for, assuming that it says if you do not own the hero or own the hero at below tier 3, you will receive tier 3 hero. So you don't have to get the hero to level 70. So you're saving the 2,403 bios that it takes to take any of these characters to level 70. So if they're not even going to put those bios that they're saving the new players, if they're not even going to put those bios in as a reward for veterans, how much of a slap in the face do you think that this is for veteran players? For players that already have all these characters tier 3. For 500 bios. Hey man, you've been playing our game for 5 years. Here's how we're going to reward you. 500 bios. Thanks for playing Marvel Future Fight. I mean, I don't even want to get into the argument, and I can, but I don't even want to get into the argument of what's the point of giving us a tier 3 selector when all of the game modes are so simple and shallow that we don't even need these characters to complete any of the content. I can blow through the content with Jean Grey and a couple of other tier 3s. I don't need any of these clowns. I need him at tier 2 with the Hydra uniform, or not even tier 2, 6 stars with the Hydra uniform for the Striker thing, and that's it. I don't need any of these clowns. Oh, but you need Spider-Man for Alliance Conquest. Listen, you can go lick their boots somewhere else, buddy. Get out of my comment section. You know what I mean? It's like this kind of stuff just blows my mind. It's really, they don't care. Here's the truth, guys. Netmarble and Marvel Future Fight, they are not #not Marvel. They do not care about veterans. They do not care about longtime players. Imagine, right? Hey man, if you've never read a Marvel comic before, we're gonna give you 100 free comics. We're gonna ship them to your house for free. Thanks for being a new fan of Marvel. Oh, hey there, Mr. 20-year Marvel Comics veteran reader. You've been supporting us financially for 20 years by buying Marvel Comics. Here's a sticker and a free comic. Thank you so much. Why would I give you 100 comics, dude? You already own them. Duh. I'm not going to waste my inventory giving you comics you already own. I'm not stupid. I'm greedy and stupid. So, yeah. This is, again, if the rewards, if the biometrics that you receive is a huge chunk, then this is okay. What I think would have been way better is if you select a hero who you already own, you get the tier 3 materials. You know, you don't need to give us all of the tier 3 materials, but if you could have just given us the tier 3 materials that it takes to tier 3 the character, I think that would have been fine. That would have been a fine change. So just give us these. Give us 10 books. Give us 800 CCF. Give us 1,000 Dimension Dust, or Essence of Dimension, and give us 500 Titan Component Packs. Forget the gold. You can save the gold. You know what? Take the books out as well. Just give us the CCF, the Titan Component Packs, and the Essence of Dimension. Why, though? Why only the biometrics? Because they already got money out of you. They already got money out of me. We're suckers. We're the jokers here. We're the losers who spent thousands of dollars on this game. And to what? To what end? To get biometrics for a 5-year anniversary. Wow, guys. Thank you so much for valuing my 5 years of playing your game by giving me fucking biometrics. Awesome. Very cool. Not at all a huge waste of our time and a massive disrespect. Like, it's honestly, and then you realize, you go back and you're like, how many tier 3s, you go back and you're like, how many tier 3s have they introduced recently that you can't use this ticket on, right? So you're thinking about it. So maybe they decided this like 6 months ago, right? So who did they give us tier 3 that we can't use this ticket on? Namor, Quicksilver, Apocalypse, Crescent, Professor X, Scarlet Witch. Huh. 6 of the last 8 tier 3s we can't use it on. Huh. Only Cyclops and Winter Soldier. Cyclops is cool. Winter Soldier is pretty dog shit. Oh, that's so weird. What if we go back a little further? Doctor Strange, Jean Grey, Thanos? Oh, shit. So, oh, Wolverine? Oh, wow. So, like, 10 of the last 12 tier 3s aren't even applicable for this ticket. Huh. It's almost like they planned to screw us over. Interesting. Awesome. So, yeah. That's just how I feel. I know a lot of players feel this way as well. And I know that the unfortunate thing is a lot of us are going to end up fighting amongst each other, because the players who are really happy about this reward will feel like they're being attacked by players like me who are unhappy. So I urge everyone to A, not fight. B, if you want to fight, you don't target your aggression, target your anger and your frustration to Netmarble and Marvel Future Fight. It's not the player's fault. It's not my fault that I've been playing for 5 years, right? It's not my fault that I decided to spend money on this game. If you want to blame people for being a whale, you're an idiot. Because if nobody whales in the game shuts down, and then you never get to play the game. That's how free-to-play games work. So you can't blame someone for having all of these characters at tier 3. You can't blame them for rushing through the game. If nobody rushes through a free-to-play game, then there's no free-to-play game. Why don't you ask Marvel Avengers Alliance? Why don't you ask Battle Lines? Why don't you ask the countless other mobile games that have risen and fallen because there just weren't enough whales to keep the game successful? Whales keep games alive. So it's obviously not the whales' fault that they have been supporting this game. But it is the developers' fault. It is the marketing department's fault. It is the people at Marvel Future Fight and at Netmarble's fault for deciding that this was the compensation that they would be giving to veteran players of 4 years, 5 years. It's unconscionable. And I know that some of you are going to say, but Cynicalex, you can tier 3 Black Panther or Spider-Man. You don't have all of these tier 3. That's not really the point though, now is it? I'm not even one of those players. I could use these, and you know what? I get some pretty decent value. I do get pretty decent value personally out of Black Panther tier 3, because if you take a look at my Spider-Man's basically done, so I wouldn't use it on Spider-Man. But my Black Panther is not done, so I would get a ton of value out of this. But I know there are plenty of players out there who aren't going to get any value. And that's really fucked up, because they've spent more money than I have on this game, and they are getting completely forgotten for no reason. This is completely unacceptable, and you know what? I'm done spending in this game until they make major changes and until they make major changes for veteran players, until they really show us that they have veteran players in mind. I am totally done spending on this game. I'm not going to say you should stop spending, but I'm seeing the writing on the wall, and I don't like it. I'm not going to be treated like trash for the next couple years in this game until it folds. Not interested. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the 5-year anniversary countdown. Let us know what you think of the tier 3 ticket. Please do not insult or harass each other. The only people that deserve your hatred and your anger and your frustration is Netmarble and Marvel Future Fight. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.